Hi everyone, Paula, Empty Nester at 40. Welcome to my channel. So today's project is going to be super easy. Actually, there's going to be two different projects, but I'm going to show them separately. So the first project is using one of these small terracotta, I think that they're called, pots, and 3 different size pumpkins. I'm going to do this project just leaving it the natural pumpkin orange color rather than having it fit my decor. I'm also going to use a little styrofoam and a skewer that I actually believe I have from a pick from Easter, and of course jute twine, that's always in my arsenal, and some Spanish moss. I don't use a lot of either of the jute twine or the Spanish moss, so that's definitely optional. Okay, so this is how easy this project is. So this terracotta pot was already painted white because I used it with another DIY. I am simply going to take the little piece of styrofoam that I had, and you don't need to use the styrofoam, you can use something else if you'd like, but all I'm going to do is take the stem off the big pumpkin and the stem off of the medium-sized pumpkin, leaving the stem on the small pumpkin, and I am simply going to first glue the styrofoam piece into the terracotta pot just to give my skewer some stability. And once I have that glued, by the way, does anybody else have issues with their glue gun? I have the hardest time getting it started. It's just, it never fails that I have a hard time getting it to, push out some usable hot glue. And it's been plugged in for a little bit. Now, there have been times, just getting into a story here, where I am just like, why is this not working? And I look down and it's not even plugged in. But that's not the case this time. This time it was plugged in, but for some reason, I don't know why, it just wasn't pushing out. So once I get that to actually work, I simply put some hot glue at the bottom of my styrofoam. I put it directly on the styrofoam. I have it on the low setting right now so it won't burn through it. And then I place the styrofoam in the little small terracotta pot. By the way, you can get these pots, I think, as a 3-pack from the Dollar Tree. I believe that's where I picked mine up. Like I said, I had used this for a previous project, so I'm reusing it. And once I'm done with that, I'm just going to take my skewer. Again, I'm pretty sure this was from a Easter bunny that had the little picks, and I just removed it. I'm just going to push it through the middle of my large pumpkin first, and then the medium pumpkin, and rounding off with the smallest pumpkin at the very top. Once I have all 3 pumpkins on, I am simply going to just push it into the styrofoam foam that I have in the little pot. And honestly, that could be the end of your project if you like, but I added just a little bit of Spanish moss at the bottom of the pot. And then I attempted, and I'm using the word loosely, to do a bow. So wrap a little bit of jute twine twice around the bottom of the pot and do a bow. And you'll see that I massively struggled. I don't know what my issue is with doing bows with the jute twine, really doing bows with anything. But you'll see the final product shortly. Okay, and here's the first finished project. Super cute mini pumpkin topiary. Okay, so for the second project, I am going to be using one of these little pumpkin signs. I'll be honest, I wasn't too crazy about these signs for some reason. But anyways, I'm also going to be using 3 of these little sticker leaves that you can paint your own color. And I'm going to be using these stencils. You can handwrite, you can use stencils, you can use your die cutting machine, you can do whatever you want. Chalk linen white paint, and I'm going to be using this antique, antique chalk paint that are my fall colors. And then truffle and crimson in Waverly chalk is what I'm going to paint the little leaves with. So I'm going to actually remove the little stem that's the pumpkin top because I'm actually going to be using this as a sign going sideways rather than up and down, which is the natural way that the sign was originally designed. I'm just going to sand off a little bit of where the tags were in the back of this sign. Did anybody else have a heck of a time trying to remove the stickers from these signs? They were on there good. So I did a little bit of sanding, just enough where I thought, once I paint, it wasn't going to really make a huge difference as far as you being able to see anything or texture wise. Again, this is the back of the sign, so it's optional whether you even do it or not. I like painting both my front and the backs of my signs. And I'm going to give this, I believe I give it at least 2 coats of the linen white chalk paint. As I wait for the base of my sign to dry, I'm just going to take my leaves that I picked up from the Dollar Tree as well, and I did mix in a little bit of the truffle and a little bit of the crimson paint just to give it more of I guess it's like a burnt red. And I'm going to I'm going to paint it, and then I realized, you know what, I probably want less paint on my paintbrush because I wanted a more rustic look to the leaves. So I end up actually wiping some of the paint off so that it gives it more of a weathered look. And I did this for 2 of the leaves, and then I did go back later and do a 3rd leaf, and the 3rd leaf is actually painted white, and I used a little bit of the antique blue, I believe is the color that I use in most of my fall decors, which is the same color that I'm going to be using when I stencil out the word autumn. Now that my base is fully dry and completely covered, I am going to go ahead and put the stencils on the sign. So these stencils are really cool because they actually stick. So I am simply just going to position my ruler so I have a straight line, and I'm going to peel off the letters that I need to spell out the word autumn, and then I'm just going to simply dab using my little dabby sponge. I love these sponge paint brushes, or they're not paint brushes, but they paint sponges, I guess they're called. to do stencils, because I will say, for me at least, they really cut down on bleeding issues that I may have. If any issues are because I'm heavy-handed sometimes with the paint, or I don't know how to stay within a certain area. I'm literally coloring outside the line sometimes. Those are the issues that I encounter, not so much because the sponge brush that I'm using is bad. Anyways, I am simply just going to place the letters down. Again, spelling the word autumn. I will do the first letter and I will do the last letter, and then I will fill in the gaps because the word uses the same letter more than once. That's what the meaning of the same is. I end up putting a question mark down just so that I have a placeholder, and then I go back, and once my letter that I need is dry, then I pull it up and then I place it down again so that I can finish stenciling out my word autumn. Once my stencil is dry, I peel all the letters off, and as you can see, it turned out great. Now to finish the project out, I'm simply going to take the little leaves, and I thought that they had little stickies to them, but they don't. Lesson learned. If there's no paper there, then it doesn't have a sticky to it. I'm just adding a dab of hot glue, and I'm just placing them down. I'm doing a red, a white, and then another red. And then, of course, to finish it off, I add just one strand of jute twine. What's a project without jute twine, I say? Who's with me? I'm not sure if I really like the jute twine, but I went ahead and went with it. So do let me know down in the comment box if you like the jute twine, or if you would have just left it without the jute twine. And here I am simply I messed up a little bit of the red on one of the leaves, and I'm just correcting that. And here are my finished projects, starting with the mini pumpkin topiary that you can customize to fit your decor color and style with ease and no problem. And the second DIY was the small tier trade autumn sign. Again, can be customized to fit your fall or autumn decor. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified the next time I upload a video. Thank you.